Just to give you guys the context of this situation, there's a guy named Michael Lynn Thompson, and he's a founding member of the Aryan Brotherhood prison gang. And he was arrested for murder back in the 70s, and eventually in the 2000s, he dropped out of the gang. And after he dropped out of the Aryan Brotherhood gang, which he helped found it, he started to appear in these television prison documentaries. And through these documentaries, he actually gained a very big fan base that was very supportive of him because he's an intelligent guy with a lot of charisma. And people cited him as the perfect example of an inmate that used to be violent who actually changed their ways and had rehabilitated. Here's a little excerpt of one of his documentary pieces.
All metal detectors, but he says he found a way to beat them using a special weave of electrical tape.
So I had them wrap these weapons with this specific weave and secrete them in their vagina and come into Folsom and visit us and give them to us in the visiting room. And then we would keister stash them and erect them.
Alright, so he spent 45 years in prison. He just got out last year at the age of 69. He's a founding member of the Aryan Brotherhood, and he got in trouble for unemployment fraud as soon as he got out. Michael Thompson, 69, was arrested Monday in Lake County. He and his co-defendant are accused of taking advantage of at least 16 people last year as the state Employment Development Department was handing out money to help those whose jobs were lost because of business closures during the COVID-19 pandemic. Prosecutors alleged that the men who had met in prison took advantage of mainly homeless people or transient people who were living off Social Security or disability payments by pretending to help them out with a fake nonprofit. Thompson and Hutchins would convince the victims to provide personal information, allowing them to apply for unemployment in their name. They falsified the documents by inflating the victims' incomes, basically saying that the victims were making more money than they really were so that they can qualify for the maximum amount. Basically, the story was, oh, well, we're going to apply for unemployment for you. We'll take a fee and we'll give you the rest. That's what they told the homeless people. The homeless people would agree, give them their personal information, and in most of these cases, they never got any of the unemployment. So basically, they set up a fake nonprofit to counsel and help homeless people who were living on the streets in California, which is a big, big, big problem. They would actually convince these people to give them their personal information. And why wouldn't they? You know, they appear to be a legitimate nonprofit. They had their own office and everything. And this guy has a reputation for being a ex-convict that has been rehabilitated. So these homeless people would give them their information, and they would think that these guys would be applying for unemployment for them. But in reality, they were taking advantage of them, and they would not give them their unemployment. They would keep it for themselves. They are suspected of $1.5 million in loan fraud. California has said bogus unemployment payouts to fraudsters, including prisoners on death row, cost about $11 billion. So basically, prisoners on death row in California actually got in on the unemployment fraud. Crazy story.